Hi everybody, it's me, Rogue Assassin. You may know me because if you follow me or if you subscribe to me, you may know my name already. But for those of you who don't know, I'm the new What If YouTuber on the block. Yes, I'm the newest here. I'm doing such odd what ifs that is getting a lot of views but 0 likes and 0 subscribe. Please subscribe to me. I ask you and I'm begging you right now. I just got somebody that actually commented down below. They wanted more of the Five Nights at Freddy's My Hero Academia style. What if? And I'm bringing you the second video of it, obviously. And this is going to be interesting. Sorry about the whole moving up and down thing. Just closing the door so nobody hears and no one disturbs. Okay. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of things. I do not remember where I was. I was just going over a lot of things in the last part of the what if. Okay, last part of the what if. Recap. Deku's quirk is a telekinesis quirk. Think of it Raven-style telekinesis. He can create invisible barrier shields. He can fire, yeah, let's just say he can fire purple bolts of energy. Because he needs to be, because this is basically, yeah, I am used to making Deku an OP Deku. Continuing on, the stronger his power, and I'm just gonna say that the animatronics are attracted to scent. They I don't know if I should do that. Just say the more powerful his quirk becomes, the more sort of energy he produces, and this attracts the animatronics, you can say. As basically, the animatronics are coming from the Five Nights at Freddy's universe and just ending up in this universe, and they are slowly coming towards Deku. Deku has gotten another doll ever since then. Yes, they are all busy like posing as teddy bears, basically. Like teddy bears, hold up. Some of I lost all of my images, so I have to re-download a lot of them. But some of the images, like Enid is already here. Enid is one of them. He is posing as a Funtime Freddy and Bonnie, Bonbon, a Funtime Freddy and Bonbon teddy bear. Why is he posing as that instead of his original look? Because are you gonna want something that looks like a bunch of broken parts as a doll? No, thank you. He's posing as that to basically blend into the theme of what's going on here. Golden Freddy is obviously Golden Freddy the teddy bear. Shadow Freddy the teddy bear. You can most imagine how that looks. Who else is here? Let me just double check. Uh, yes, William Afton is also here. He broke out of his hell. He broke out of his hellhole, and now he's here with all the animatronics. This is taking part. This is taking place after the Vanny incident with the Gregory and Vanny incident, and that's the new game coming out. Can't wait. I don't think I'm gonna play it, but I'm gonna watch people play it. Can't wait. Um, Continuing on, before I get into any Five Nights at Freddy's lore that I don't want to get into, probably get a whole lot of Five Nights at Freddy's fans angry then. I'm just joking with everyone. I'm just joking. I would never make the Five Nights at Freddy's community angry just for my stupid actions. It's not me. But continuing on, yes, William Aftons is free. He's taking the name now Glitch Trap, and he's posing as a Glitch Trap doll, which is basically like, think of it like a yellow bunny, but it's green. Instead of it yellow, it's green. The entire thing is just green, code green. As who else is here? Nightmare Freddy is also here, and Nightmare is also here. They're posing as a black bear and a grey bear. Yeah. No, I would say they're like Nightmare Freddy's posing as a Nightmare Freddy doll. but brown, and Nightmare is just posing as a black bear. Obviously, some interesting things that are happening. Yeah, and Deku as a, I don't know how old I left him as. I think it was 5 when his quirk act. I think it was 5 when his quirk activated. He found the dolls. 7 and 8 he started collecting them. More dolls started appearing in his room, and now I'm gonna push it all the way up to 10. Let's say he's 10 now, and Deku is busy practicing with his quirk. Yes, Deku has a quirk here. Think of it more like a Raven style quirk. Like he needs to have basically a calm sense of mind, because if he loses control, everything goes out of whack. Everything, like like basically his power. If he's not in control of his emotions, his power goes haywire. And this is a male Deku, so he has to be inner. He has to have inner peace. But that's quite hard when you have a that's quite hard when you have an explosive idiot that's next to you. Yes, it's really annoying too. Yes, that's Bakugo. It's quite hard to keep your inner peace with Bakugo around. As Deku nearly slipped with his power twice, but he's learning to control it. Right now he's meditating and he's busy lifting everything in the house up. So I'm gonna begin the story there. Dick was just practicing on his quirk. Everything in the house, and I mean everything, is busy floating. Everything that, like chairs, tables, TVs, everything's floating. As Inko's not at the house right now. Deku's just meditating on his bed, trying to find inner peace, with all his animatronic teddy bears around him. As basically, he is basically now just meditating until Inko walks in. As Inko doesn't know that Deku has a quirk yet. Why? Because Deku hasn't shown it. He didn't show his quirk. He didn't show his quirk to anybody. But this is his first time his mother's seen his quirk. As when Inko walks in the house, she is dumbfounded. Every single thing is floating, except for the tables. Like the tables that are not like movable tables, yeah, that's floating too. TV is floating too, because it's not like zipped down to the wall. It's just like on a table, so it's floating as well. Pot plants floating as well. Like basically plates, glass, everything is floating. Spoons, and it goes walking with a cup, basically a cup of coffee. She drops it, like she lets it go in shock, as that's floating too. Basically, everything's floating. Her bag starts floating, but Inko's not floating. As Inko walks all the way, like through the house, like very carefully, she's looking at everything just floating. Um, as she comes across Izuku, as Izuku is busy floating, his eyes is basically closed, as as basically Inko's calling for Izuku, as he's like, Izuku, Izuku, doesn't listen. She says it louder as Izuku opens his eyes, and his eyes is just white, by the way, just white. So his power, instead of purple, is gonna be white, or black is gonna be white. It's gonna have like white beams, white shield. Yeah, it's just the opposite color of Raven. As basically Deku opens his eyes and there's white eyes. As basically she asks Izuku to stop making everything float. As Izuku does that, but he does it very carefully, because if he just like falls out of that meditation state, then everything drops to the floor and everything breaks, and everything just stops floating. As even the basically the cup gets set on the, like, cup of coffee is, instead of set on the floor, it's set on the table, because he has some control of this. As basically Inko's like, yeah, I'm gonna need to take you to the quirk doctor to have your quirk evaluated. As basically, and Inka would say, Inka would ask how long Midoriya had this quirk. And if this is not taking place, oh yeah, just side note, everybody, if this is not taking place on the correct, basically the correct thing that happened in the last video with a whole lot of explaining to do. I had a whole lot of explaining. This video is more story based. That one's more explanatory. So just like I recapped this video now, like I recapped the last video now, it's the story is beginning like right here, just like after Izuku got his basically quirk from the basically abandoned building, abandoned bull, burnt down building that's in the middle of a forest. As I don't remember, because I have a whole lot of what ifs in my head, I do not remember if yeah, they were out. Yeah, they were out on a camp because it's in the middle of a forest. Um, yes, Sasashi is still here, but I'm gonna say Hasashi died a few years prior to some incident happening because he had to go overseas, a plane crash, I'm gonna say. As Hasashi died, he basically did mourn his father, obviously Izuku. This is just side notes here because I need to kill off Hasashi for this to work. Um, he did mourn his father. Nothing interesting happened. It's basically life that happened, and I say life like I haven't lived life before. It's just life. It's just life happening. As moving on to the story. If you don't want to listen to that side note, you can skip to this part now. But if you already listened to that ramble, then it's too late now. Continuing on. Uh, Izuku is basically he's very powerful. He's a very powerful. He's very powerful with his abilities, but can do more abilities because he can't. He can more. He doesn't need to just control. He doesn't have just telekinesis. And I'm gonna tell you why he doesn't just have telekinesis. So in just a minute, just wait for a minute, hold up. So Inko says she was gonna make something to eat, as she does because they're gonna go tomorrow to the doctor. So while she's busy making, basically something catches on fire. Something catches. I'm gonna say a towel. Towel catches on fire as Inko's like, uh, Inko's like fire, 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 as she's starting to put it out as it's just getting bigger as bigger. She calls Izuku as Izuku comes in as Izuku tries to use his quirk to put it out as he starts controlling the fire. As the fire gets goes down, gets how can I say, he puts it out with his quirk. As there's only a full the fire that was the big fire that was on the cloth turned into a small candle that's on Izuku's finger. A small light that's on Izuku's finger. As Izuku is basically is controlling fire now with his finger. Izuku has, I think it was pyro something, I don't know the full name of the quirk's name, but it's pyro something. Pyronesis? No, it's probably not pyronesis. Comment down below what's the pyro thing again. And his other quirk, which I'm gonna say now, is the opposite of pyronesis, which I think he controls. He doesn't control water. He controls ice. Yeah, he can make ice. So basically, he has a fire and ice quirk. He can control fire. He can control ice. Basically, it's that. As Deku basically puts out the fire on his finger, just by putting his thumb and like biggest finger together, he puts it out. As a fire nearly broke out as Inko like watched how her son just basically controlled fire and just put it out instantly, and she's basically amazed. It's like, and she basically like just like is still in a shock while making food. As I'm gonna do a time skip, a daytime skip, and we're gonna skip all the way to when Deku gets to the quirk doctor. Deku has his quirk doctor. Deku has his quirk evaluated as he has kind of like three quirks. He can control a part. I don't know if it's pyronesis, pyrotic, pyro. Um, he has a fire control quirk, obviously, so he can basically control fire, but he can't make it. So he can't breathe fire. Deku can't breathe fire, but he can control it. As he also has an ice quirk, which allows him to control ice, but he can't make it. I might change that in the future. I might change it to, or I might give Deku a way for Deku to manifest fire. But that's gonna be later. As that's only three of Deku's quirks. Deku's last quirk is gonna be a surprise. As I'm gonna do a time skip to the end of middle school. Bakugo is still how can I say a biatch, a biatch, obviously. Like he is. He's still acting like that loud, noisy Bakugo that we all love. As angry Pomegonian. I don't know why I thought of that. Angry little small dog. Okay, an angry small dog. That's what Bakugo is acting like, obviously. Continuing on. Now that I put that in your heads, continuing on. Um, we're gonna continue on after school. Bakugo doesn't bully Deku this time. Let's just say it's a bunch of random people. As they corner Deku because Deku is quite powerful, but Deku never uses his quirk. As children basically belittle him for having such a powerful quirk and being ungrateful that he has it. As basically they do, some children do bully him because he doesn't fight back, obviously. As basically these three unnamed people, unnamed nobodies like corner Deku. As Deku does have one of the teddy bears, which is basically, let's say it's night. Nope. Let's say it's basically Golden Freddy. Nope. Shadow Freddy. Shadow Freddy is basically in his bag. He has a doll of him. As basically, I'm just gonna say he put it in, like it fell in by accident. Somehow it got in his bag. As they are basically like they are about to fight. As Dick like as when like in just fear of Deku like getting hurt, just being like in fear. Deku's like in fear now of getting hurt. He knows he has a powerful quirk, but he doesn't want to use it. So just in fear, Deku's eyes turns a bright white. Basically, his green eyes disappear. He gains black eyes, and it just turns white. As it's just like a bright white pimple. As Deku activates his fourth quirk, where the teddy bear in Deku finally like turns into a purple light and just comes out of his bag and then manifests itself in like behind Deku, as basically this purple thing is like just staring at the three boys, as every time it blinks it moves, and it blinks it moves, but Deku can't see what these two are staring at. They're just staring at something. So basically now this purple thing is in front of Deku, but Deku still can't see what they're staring at. As these two are just walking back, like slowly. As one of the boys tried to attack it. One of the boys tried to attack the thing. As basically he drops. Like once he touches it, he drops. As the boys don't even know what just happened. As they're like, dude, get up. As he's basically like out cold, like he's having a sleep. As basically it touches like the last two, and like the animatronic touches both of them as they both drop. As they all three of them are asleep. Now I'm gonna take a quick trip into their minds and see what's happening. As these two are having a ride. They are basically they are scared. They are having nightmares. Basically Chris's nightmares all over again. As they wake up, as like Izuku like walks past him and is like, okay, I'm gonna go now. As the purple light, as like when Shadow Freddy sees Deku, like says, okay, I'm gonna go now. As Deku runs off, as Shadow Freddy turns back into a bright purple light as he follows Deku. As he enters the bag, turns into a doll again. As basically when the boys wake up, they peed their pants, obviously. They just had a hell of a time. As that's Deku's other quirk. He's able to make metaphorical dreams or illusions come to life. Well, basically, he can make illusions and dreams. Like if you look into his eyes, he can like give you a, he'll put you into an illusion. Or when you like basically touch him, you'll either pass out and fall into a dream state. And in this moment, he can do anything to you because you won't be able to move. You won't be able to know what's real or what's fake. He can also tear apart your mind from the inside. How does he do that? Well, William Afton's Hell, obviously, that's how. Or Custom Night. Basically, he uses that and then he slowly tears apart your mind. He can basically read your mind as well. And certain animatronics give certain abilities. But he has to follow the rules of that animatronic. So, yeah, he's gonna. That's his fourth quirk. He can use, and his fourth quirk also a lot involves spirits. So that means he can take like a spirit of somebody, as he can like take a spirit out of a body and put it in another one, or put it in an object. As that like person that inhabited that body, spirit, will either inherited or object, or will either in like if it if it like is put in a object, it will curse the object, and the spirit that Deku moved will haunt that object until it's placed back in its body, obviously. And that object will also be obviously alive. So yeah, Deku is a very powerful person. And that's why Deku is not going to be known as a not going to be he doesn't want to be the number one hero. He just wants to be a hero. He wants to be the first horror hero. What do I mean by horror hero? Well, what does it sound like? He's horror and a hero. That's not a good interpretation. That's just me telling you the name. Basically, he's gonna make villains fear him. He's gonna make villains fear him. That's simple. As actually, I think I can still go on for a few minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna go on for a few minutes. Continuing on that is basically Deku unlocking his fourth quirk, which was after his school days, as Deku's trying to get home as fast as he can, as he's not going to run into the sludge running here, because All Might already stopped the sludge running earlier, as he's basically going to run through the tunnel and stop there, as basically finally Shadow Freddy is going to show himself. As a purple light comes out of Deku's bag, as Deku can finally see this purple light. As he's following this purple light, as he's like, what is this? As he's like, it lands right in front of him, as it manifests. Hold up. A boy with purple skin, wearing a purple suit with black gloves, black jacket, and a black pants. Yes, this is going to be more animated, but for like some people it's going to be animatronic style. But basically, Shadow Freddy. Shadow Freddy. Oops. Oh yeah, that's Baby, by the way. Shadow Freddy, obviously in all his glory. As this boy appears in front of him, he looks exactly like Deku's age. As he asks, "Who are you?" As he's like, "Wow." Like Deku is like Shadow Freddy's trying to come up with an excuse, and he's like, "I'm a part of your quirk." As he's like, as Deku's like, "Really?" It's like, as Shadow Freddy's like, "Yes, yes. I'm a sentient part of your quirk." As he's like, "Cool, then what can you do?" I can put people in illusions, and I can basically cast illusions. As he's like, okay. As Shadow Freddy's like he didn't actually expect he was gonna talk to him, but he's just like, he also hasn't talked to another person in years, so yeah. As Izuku asked his name, as Shadow Freddy gives his name. You can call me Shadow Freddy. Shadow Freddy. Okay, my name is Izuku. As puts out a hand, as Shadow Freddy like takes it, as basically basically Shadow Freddy like he can float, by the way. He can float, by the way, so he can fly just like in the games. Now he's just flying next to Deku, as Deku is busy discussing like Shadow Freddy is busy discussing what he can do to Deku and what Deku could do with his quirk. As they get home, as basically no one else can see him but Deku, because it's just a sentient part of his quirk that he can only see. But if Deku wants his mother to see Shadow Freddy, then yeah. As Shadow Freddy explains this to Deku, why no one can see him but you, as they enter Deku's room. As Deku's room has a whole bunch of animatronic teddy bears on the table, as basically Shadow Freddy turns into one of the purple bears, as he still has a mind link with Deku, as Deku is basically like talking to Shadow Freddy in his mind, and while he's showering, basically. As I'm gonna say Deku goes sleep. As I'm gonna say Deku goes to sleep, yeah. As I'm not gonna go over anything else, I want to save the USJ for another video. I want to save the the hero versus villains, and I'm also gonna save yeah, the interesting exam for another video. So I'll see you in the next one, and this has been part 2. And for those who asked for Five Nights at Freddy's, in the comments down below, comment what video you want next, or what if you want me to do, because I am taking any what ifs that could be interesting, because I think I am a leading, I don't know, for this what if I might be the person that's leading this. I might be the first person that did this type of style of what if. But anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a notification, and put that notification, hit that bell for notifications from me. Why do I keep on getting that one wrong? I'm bad. This video, yeah, I'm not gonna answer that. I'm not gonna finish that last one. But I'll see you next time, and see you in the next video. I won't be posting today, but I might be posting tomorrow, because it is weekends. Like, yeah, I think it's weekends. Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, it is weekends. So, see you next time, and I hope you enjoy that other video that I posted, which is basically my bad time. I call it a bad time. It's basically my Undertale videos, and I hope you liked what I'm doing with the what if, because it's basically a lot of people has done the way a lot of people has done it in different ways, but I think mine, I think, is most, how can I say it, it's very different. I would say mine is very, very different. So see you in the next video. Bye.